Oh my gosh, I'm so frustrated. I'm so frustrated. Hello everybody, welcome to the channel. As you can see, I'm in the middle of framing a small structure. Whether you want to call this a bunkhouse, a tiny cabin, a shed, or a bathhouse, put whatever label on it you want. But where I'm at in the process today is making rafters. And as you can see, I've only got half of it framed. And the reason for that is I'm going to use the floor deck as a workspace to lay out my rafters. I'm just an average guy who finally decided that not knowing how to do something is not enough to stop me. So today, we're going to lay out some rafters. I started by finding my span, and my span is half of the distance of my floor. So in this particular case, my span measurement is 6 foot, and that is going to be the middle of my structure. I made another measurement 12 inches out from the edge of the deck platform, and my thought is this is what's going to help me determine my rise and run. The Amish cabin is, I think, a 612, which means for every 6 inches, for every foot, we rise 6 inches. Okay, so that would be 612, which would only give us a loft height of less than 4 feet, especially after you put sheetrock or whatever on the. So that would be pretty small for a loft area. My son was hoping that I would make a loft for him in here. That would give us about 4 feet of height in the loft, a little bit less for sheetrock and whatnot. But the idea of having a loft wasn't really to have like a big livable space. The idea I thought about for the loft was it would be kind of a half loft, and it would serve two purposes. Number one, it would tie in the wall ends to act as kind of like a modified truss by having this loft deck. It would tie the walls. The one problem with the cathedral ceiling is it wants the pressure down, wants to bow the walls out without any lateral support. So that's what I'm being told anyway. So in order to try to compensate for the downward forces, I want to tie in those walls together. So my plan is in the back half to do this loft, and then where I create that flat ceiling, that's also going to create a room behind there that will be like a shower room. If I had a shower or, a bathroom space, let's just call it that. That's what we're going to try. We're going to see if we can make this work. Got this saw a year ago on a Black Friday special. It was a deal I couldn't pass up. And I've never used it before, so we'll see if I can do this without cutting my fingers off. Okay, I think I got my angle cut. So what I'm going to do now so that I'm uniform in all of my rafter layouts is I'm going to build a little jig. And that's going to be just to make sure that my up and down is the same in every rafter that I lay. Well, I'm not super happy with my bird's mouth cuts, so I mocked up a rafter and I'm going to try to test fit it just to see how it sits. Not sure what the best way to do this is. But I just wanted to kind of get a look and see how the tails would look and how the bird's mouth would sit. I almost feel like I could have made the tails a little longer. Let me think on that. And rinse and repeat. I'm cutting the rafter gussets, and I feel like I'm playing Tetris. Instead of doing pure triangles, I added a little bit more for stability and support, so that screws up the uniformity of my cuts. Have a final check. Nothing's above the stud. Who took my hammer? I turned this down because I wanted the heads to stick out because I needed to pull a nail. There. It's a little better. Yep, that's what I wanted right there. All right, now we got to flip this bad boy over and nail the other side. All right, a couple more nails and we got a first rafter done. You know, I've done the exact same stuff 5 times, and I haven't had one rafter fall on me. Of course, the one time I video it, it falls. But, didn't come apart. That's a good sign, right? My bird mouth must be a little bit off on this one. The other ones were really solid. Gratuitous butt shot for you. Simmer down, simmer down. We got work to do. Gotta be careful. I don't want swarms of women folk invading the land up here. All right. A little bit over half done. I'll see you when I'm done. So I only have to do the 2 lookout rafters tomorrow, and then the rafters are done, and we're going to move back on to finish framing. The rafters actually went fairly well, much better than I anticipated. But anyway, we're done for the day. It gets dark, you know, 4:45. By 5 o'clock, it's pretty dark now. We'll see you bright and early in the morning. Good night. Well, good morning. Every morning when I go outside, I tell you guys about the chickadees chasing me down to get some breakfast. Well, today let's play a little game. I'm going to take my iPhone, I'm going to set the timer.
Unknown caller.
Don't ever fill out an online inquiry about health insurance, because you will get 40 calls a day. Man. Anyway, so this morning we are going to play a little game, and I'm going to set my timer on my phone, and let's see how long it takes for the chickadees to notice that I'm now outside and that they need to get my attention for me to feed them. So, stopwatch. Let's go outside now. Oh, good morning, people. Welcome to a beautiful day. And it is going to be a beautiful day to put some rafters on the bunkhouse. We've got it all framed up with the exception of that little 2x4 stud on the end that we're going to cover up with a piece of sheeting. But other than that, we are going to start hanging rafters today. The first thing we have to do is we have to sheet this end rafter. And I know this is an end rafter because it only has one. Oh, let me check the watch. There he is right there. What's the matter, chick? Well, let's see what we got for time. It took them all of 1 minute and 11 seconds. All right, let's go feed them, little rascals. Let's go feed the chickadees. I purposely banged the seed can lid to give them noise because I've heard that loud noises can attract them. So we'll see if it equates to feeding time. I love my chickadees. I was really struggling with how to make these end rafters. This is my idea for the lookout rafter. And I know people make like rafter ladders, and this is kind of like that. What I'm going to do is nail these lookout boards onto the end rafter and then put that in place. And then when I put the final support rafter up, then I'll nail the support rafter into the back side of the little blocks. Here's an example that winter sun is going to come right through that window right there. And it's going to be so nice in here. And then as the sun comes across the sky this way, I should get just, well, dead of winter like right now, I'm not going to get much because it's down by the time it gets here. But fall and spring, I'm going to get a nice bit of sun through that window right there. The only bad thing about this window is it looks right into the backside of the shed. Let me tell you, the placement of this bunkhouse, if I could do it over again, knowing it was going to be more of a bunkhouse than a sauna bathhouse, I don't know if I would have put it here. The idea was it was just going to be a bathhouse sauna and like hardly any windows, right? So it didn't really matter. I just wanted it, the proximity was more important than the scenic location. But after this morphed into a bunkhouse, yeah, you look out this window and you get a splendid view of the outhouse, and you look out that window and you get a splendid view of the backside of the shed. Whatever. It's going to be a couple times a year that somebody will be staying here, and it'll be mostly family. So if they don't like it, they can pitch a tent. All right, boys and girls, it's go time. I don't know how this is going to work, but the plan is to get it over that brace because it needs to go on the backside. And hey, I don't know. We're just gonna play this by ear. The only thing I do know for certain is that this isn't unmanageable weight-wise. How am I gonna get that up there though? You didn't see that. Well, caught on a bracket. Oh. Okay, so we got it on the back side of the brace. I think we can work with it now. If this ladder was 2 feet taller, I would just be able to lift it right into place. What am I thinking? What am I doing?
When the old one's gone under the knife, and I can feel the sun on my skin, beginning to thaw from within. Today and not tomorrow, there's no time to borrow.
All right, let's use our brains here. There's got to be an easy way to do this. One thing I'm thinking is, how about if we put one end up first? And then, oh my gosh, everything is in the way. Stumps and blocks and nailers, and boards with nails in them. I don't know how I'm going to do this when I put a sheet on here.
On my face, all that ever was is a rage.
Come on! Are you kidding me? Oh! It's up there. I think we're best to go to the other side now. It's got to get brought over this way to the end of the blocks. And then we got to nail it in somehow. Holy smoke cats. I didn't bargain for this. All right, let's see if we can get this where it's supposed to be. Well, I don't know about you, but I've had enough of rafters already, and we don't even have the first one secured. I don't even want to look. I I want to check to see if that's in the middle of the roof. Don't look at that brace, because that brace is I only used it because I had the king and that jack stud. The center, where is the center? Oh, it's 12 feet. So say, I was going to say, geez, the sheets aren't lining up. It's got to be 4 feet or 8 feet. I forgot it's 12 foot. So 6 foot is the... I got to get nails. Okay, we'll just nail this on the floor. I believe I made a mistake again. So I put a couple sheets on this rafter. So I'm not sure how I'm going to deal with this over my head. Yeah, this might be a real bad idea. Yeah, doggone it. Son of a gun. It's not the weight per se, it's the awkwardness of it. Oh, yeah, this ain't gonna fly. Oh my gosh, I'm so frustrated. I'm so frustrated. I'm just so over this. And how is that not falling down yet? That thing's barely hanging on up there. Actually, that's not too bad. Maybe I just need to learn some physics. She is barely balancing, boys and girls. She is barely balancing. Ooh. Okay. I don't know what to do. I'm so screwed up right now. I need to catch my breath. Okay, I'm not out of the woods. That rafter tail is sitting on a small stick branch where the bird mouth is. So I need to go this way about a 1/4 inch, but the stick is taking up the slack, so I can't. All right, if anything bad happens, I'm pushing this over the edge and I'm just cutting losses. I'm not going to get hurt over this. Part of the problem is my sheathing is sticking up, so my bird's mouth, instead of sitting flush with the 2x4, the sheathing's in the way, and so it won't sit down all the way. That's one of many problems. Hey, that actually helped. It got into the bird mouth. Oh, I got the wrong nails in. This is crazy, people. This is crazy. I was able to get that piece of sheathing wedged out of there, so the bird mouth set down perfectly on the 2x4, and I got that nailed in, so that's pretty solid, except there's still a lot of, top heavy weight. So I'm gonna try to get this sheet up there so that I can get the lookout nailed in, because then at least I have support that's 12 inches wide instead of, 3.5 inches wide. And then I got to come over and do the other side, but oh my gosh, I've been at this all day. Like, this is all I've gotten done today, and I feel like I got to start. Yeah, I got a later start, but I think I started it by 10 o'clock, and I'm running out of daylight already. Well, if I can get this up, this is the hardest part. The rest I think will go fairly smooth. I still haven't figured out how I'm going to get up on the roof and sheath this, but I might have to do it in sections. I might have to, we'll see. Anyway, I'm burning daylight, so I'm going to get at it. So I'll catch up with you guys, hopefully when this is secured and that sheet is on. So I'm going to have to get up from the backside and finish nailing that sheathing in, but It's still just too unsteady now to do it. Like I said, don't freak out about the gap there. There's going to be a 2x4 on the inside, and that will allow that sheathing to get nailed to it, and then that gap will be filled in with OSB. For the most part, it's a start, and now we can start putting the other rafters up. And once we put the other ones up, then we can tie them together with boards, and they'll be so much more stable. Long day. Thanks for hanging out with the River Dog and I this week. As you can see, we did get a few more rafters put up last night. It was so dark that there was no way I could film and bring you guys along, but you can see the finished product today. I have one more rafter to put up, and I may try to put some roof sheeting on, but there's a couple steps that I need to do. I still need to cut the rafter tails so that the flat, so the soffits will fit. And then I also need to put the fascia boards on. But one thing I was thinking I might do is I may just build a jig that has a 1-inch board with a block. And that way I can just attach it to the rafter tail, slide my sheeting, and it will be fitted perfectly. I think this is a good time to wrap the video up. We're headed back to the river house to resupply. And my daughter's coming home from college, so it'll be nice to spend some time with her. But when I come back, I'll bring my router and my scaffold, and we'll get the roof sheathed and papered, get the frame house wrapped, and get the windows punched out, and maybe even put the windows in. We'll see how far we get on the roof, but lots planned in upcoming videos. So if you've stuck with us this far into the video, please subscribe and leave a comment. Let me know where you're from. As always, I love you guys. Thank you for your constant support, and we will see you soon.